Hello students, in this video we will study a typical thoracic vertebra, ossification of thoracic vertebra and applied part. Okay. A typical thoracic vertebra, uh, these are vertebrae are first thoracic vertebra, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th thoracic vertebra. Okay. So this is first thoracic vertebra. These are atypical vertebrae is having are having features different than that of few features different than that of typical thoracic vertebra. Okay, so in this first thoracic vertebra, body is like that of cervical vertebra. It is not heart shaped and transverse diameter is more than that of anterior posterior diameter. Then edges are beveled. अपर सरफेस जो है ऑफ दिस वर्टिब्रा दैट इज लिफ्ट लैटरली. हियर वी कैन सी द लिफ्ट lateral parts. Okay, then superior costal facet on body is superior costal facet. This is complete and this articulates with the head of first rib, and a very small inferior costal facet is present. This articulates with the head of second rib. Then spine of this first thoracic vertebra, this is thick, long, and it is nearly horizontal. Superior vertebral notches are well defined as compared to typical vertebra. This is well defined. In typical thoracic vertebra, this is not much marked. Okay, so here it is well marked. Okay, so this is regarding first thoracic vertebra. Ninth thoracic vertebra. This majority of the features are like this of that of typical thoracic vertebra. Important difference is it is having only superior costal demifacet. Inferior demifacet is absent because 10th rib articulates completely with the 10th thoracic vertebra. So here this lower facet is not present. Upper demifacet is present for articulation with 9th rib, head of 9th rib. Okay, so this is regarding 9th thoracic vertebra. Then 10th thoracic vertebra, again majority of the features are like that of typical thoracic vertebra. The important difference is this entirely articulates with 10th head of 10th rib. So there is complete facet, costal facet along the upper margin of body. Okay, so this is 10, and this facet on the transverse process is present. 10th thoracic vertebra. Okay, so only single facet for articulation with head of 10th rib. Okay, so this is 10th thoracic vertebra. 11th thoracic vertebra, again this is having only single costal facet, complete costal facet, and this encroaches over the root of pedicle. This is pedicle, so encroaches over the root of pedicle. Okay, and important feature is one of the important feature is facet on transverse process is absent. Okay, because there is no neck and tubercle in 11th rib, so here there is no facet on transverse process. So important difference between 10th and 11th thoracic vertebra is that here on transverse process facet is present, and 11th thoracic vertebra facet on transverse process is absent. Then 12th thoracic vertebra, shape of the body, pedicle, shape of the body, pedicle, and transverse processes and spine of this vertebra are like that of lumbar vertebra. Okay, so this resembles that of lumbar vertebra. Okay, and the important difference is from the lumbar vertebra is that it is having facet for articulation with the head of 12th rib, and this facet is present more on the lower part of pedicle than that of body. So present on lower part of pedicle. So this is 12th thoracic vertebra. Then our transverse process is small. Transverse process of this vertebra is small, and it has no facet, but like lumbar vertebra, it is having superior, inferior, and lateral tubercles. Okay. Then inferior articular processes and facets, these are everted. This is everted and directed laterally. Okay. So inferior articular facets, these are everted and directed laterally. These are inferior articular processes and facets. Okay. So this is regarding 12th thoracic vertebra. So resembles like lumbar vertebra, but having facet. Okay. Then ossification of vertebra. Ossification of this vertebra. Ossification is by 3 primary centers and 5 secondary centers. Primary centers are one for centrum, which forms body, part of body, and 2 for neural arches. Neural arch include pedicles and lamina. Okay, so this primary center appears during 8th to 9th week of fetal life. 8th to 9th week of fetal life, and 2 halves means at birth. This consists of 3 parts: centrum and 2 halves of neural arches. Okay, and 2 halves of neural arches fuse posteriorly during first year. Means this neural arch, this fuse during first year. Okay, and neural arch fuses with the body, means joined with centrum, means neural arch and centrum. This fusion is joined by there is presence of joint, and this is called as neurocentral synchondrosis. Okay, and fusion of this neurocentral synchondrosis occurs during 3rd to 6th year of life. Means this fusion occurs between 3rd to 6th year of life. Okay, there are 5 secondary centers of ossification. 2 for body, means upper part of and lower part of body. Then 2 for transverse processes, one for each transverse process, and 1 for spinous process. Okay, these secondary centers appear during 15th year of life. 15th year appears during 15th year and fuses with rest of the vertebra at about 25th year. Okay, so secondary centers fuses at 25th year. Okay, so when we are seeing complete thoracic vertebra, so age is about 25 years. clinical anatomy of thoracic vertebrae. If there is failure of fusion of two neural arches, two half of neural arches, if they fuel to fuse posteriorly, then this results in spina bifida. Okay, so spinal cord contents of vertebral column can come out of this spina bifida. Okay, so that is one of the applied part. Sometimes this body, this ossifies from two primary centers, means one primary center for each half. Okay, so if one half of right or left half of primary center do not develop properly, then one half of the body, right or left half of the body, do not develop properly. Okay, so one half of the body can be missing there, and this results in hemivertebra. And because of this missing part, there occur lateral bending of the vertebral column, and this is called as scoliosis. Okay, so this is regarding one of the applied part. Then prolapse, disc prolapse, intervertebral disc. Okay, so this usually do not occur in young adults because discs are very strong. However, after second decade of life, degenerative changes set in and resulting in weakness of annulus fibrosus. Okay, so in between two vertebra, bodies of two vertebra, there is intervertebral joint in the form of intervertebral disc. Okay, so this intervertebral disc is having peripheral annulus fibrosus and central nucleus pulposus, which is gel-like material. Okay, so if there occur degenerative changes in annulus fibrosus, and if this is subjected to strain, then annulus fibrosus may get rupture and leading to prolapse of the nucleus pulposus. Okay, so nucleus pulposus can comes out of the annulus fibrosus. Okay, so this is called as disc prolapse, and this prolapse, intervertebral disc or disc prolapse, this is usually posterolateral. This is posterolateral, like this, posterolateral. Okay, and this can press upon the nerve roots which are emerging between the intervertebral foramen and give rise to pain that radiates along the distribution of the nerve. And if this occur in case of lower lumbar region, then this is called as referred pain along the course of sciatic nerve. This is called as sciatica. Okay, so along the distribution of the sciatic nerve, there is pain. Okay, and in this disc prolapse, there can occur if this is long standing, then motor effect, means loss of power and reflexes can also occur. This can result in loss of motor power and reflexes. Okay, and more common site of this disc prolapse is lower lumbar region and lower cervical region. Okay, so lower lumbar region and lower cervical region, and lower lumbar region usually results in sciatica. Okay, so this is regarding applied part of the thoracic vertebrae. Thank you.